Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of the official Fourth Age Total War Dominion of Men Let's Play. So far, we, playing as Rohan, have driven the Dunlendings back past the outpost of Dolbaran. We have aided our ally, the Reunited Kingdom, against their civil war enemy Adunabar, and taken Kalanhad, and we have secured our northern border. We've looked at managing our settlements, conquering new settlements, managing our family members and their opinions of our leader. And this episode, I will hopefully be showing you some of the ways you can use diplomacy in this mod in support of your military efforts and to make the mod a little bit more fun. So, at the end of our last turn, we just started moving our main army up north, and our target is this crossroads province of Mid-Deeping. Adunabar can threaten us constantly across this border as long as they hold this province, and we want to take it off them. So we'll be aiming to do that as soon as possible. Okay, here we go. So, normal routine for a turn, check the reports, check all of our buildings. Vierfeld is a new province that we're developing up. We're going to keep building things in there as a priority to get it up to a good level to contribute to our economy and our income. We're going to build there now Chieftain's Feasts, which is the tier 1 cultural conversion building for us. Because Vierfeld is one of our homelands, this building gives maximum bonuses. They're rather good in terms of recruitment, income, and population growth. So we definitely want that. Then of our remaining provinces, we've started on our industry buildings. Oldburg, Entwade, and Easthold have all done them. Of all three of these, Entwade and Oldburg are the ones that have the best income, though Entwade's not that good. Oldburg is a little bit better, so we will prioritize those for further development. And in both cases, we're going to build the Horse Breeders, which is an industry building that just gives you a straight trade bonus. So we'll put that there, and we'll put it there. That. Okay, yes, and we'll keep moving our army forwards. Now, something I wanted to do here is... Actually, I'll do it next turn, and we won't use the infantry from the settlement, we'll do it a different way. You'll see that in a moment. Just having a quick look over the rest of our settlements. Everything is looking pretty good. Dunland is seeing if our defences are weak. Over here, probably feeling quite disappointed about it. I'm pretty comfortable with the force we've got there. Not going to train any reinforcements for it from Hornburg just yet. We'll let the population rebuild a little bit. But in Edoras, I'll just stiffen it with another unit of shields at the market. Doesn't hurt to be careful. Then here, we'll go with Kalanhad. We might add a couple of units of cavalry there, and we're wanting Riddermark scouts. So train up some of those and we'll send them down to Kalanhad as soon as possible. There's a good reason for that. If you're expecting to defend a city siege, having a few units of Horse Archers, if your faction has those, can be very handy, and I will show you why if I get the chance to do that as well. Now, diplomats, we're going to keep moving around. One we've parked next to the capital of Rhovanion because we want to be regularly talking to that faction. The other one we're moving down to our ally because we may want to start regularly talking to them as well. Okay, end of second turn. I am going to try and keep this video shorter than the previous ones. I haven't been very successful so far. Just keep wanting to play one more turn. But we'll be able to move pretty quickly here, because we're not playing a huge number of battles.
Captain.
So, what I'm going to do here is this character, I'm going to move him, remembering that there are no mercenaries in Rohan, but if we pop across the river for a second, there they are. And we're going to grab this unique mercenary unit, which is rather good, and then a unit of the Axemen, which is sort of melee-focused infantry units, and they're going to carry our rams for us, and we'll put them back in the settlement he's governing.
Captain.
Remembering, of course, that our governors, once they're attuned, we kind of want to keep them in the settlements. If you do have a need of him, you can move him out and around, but you'll get your best economic returns if you leave them put and let them do their jobs there. For the same reason, of course, we're automating our governance, except for development and recruitment, just the build policy, which will help make him feel valuable and worthwhile, and improve his opinion of our faction leader. Now, this army, we're heading straight for mid-deep. And I realize, of course, that I'm attacking a settlement with no walls. But we will attack a settlement with walls later on, so these guys will still be of some use. Okay, normal routine. Reports, projects. Waldberg has done the mustering fields. So we can retrain that unit of scouts. And in fact, we'll train another unit as well, because those are very useful. At this point, I want to designate it as a military settlement. So I'll go ahead with the consultation there. Waldberg has built the marked scouts. We'll build another unit of those. And we'll send them down to Calenhad as soon as they're available to help defend that border. He got an ancillary out of that, that's always useful, though I am being a little bit lazy and I don't pay too much attention to our ancillaries. Nothing else very much is happening in terms of wars or production, so we'll move our diplomats and probably end things there. Okay, next turn. See if Adunabar responds to our incursion. Not looking good for Rhovanion. Even if they can bring the numbers, Dale has a much better roster. That faction is designed to struggle. It's probably the most difficult faction to play, so if you want a challenge, try playing as these orange guys here. You'll definitely find that difficulty level suitable for an experienced player. Okay, military policy in Waldberg, and Fearfeld has done the Chieftain's Feasts. Our population here is still so low that I'm not really interested in building any sort of recruitment building. Our garrison is adequate because despite Adunabar having an army here, this is a separate province. They won't go through there until they take this one here, so we can feel quite safe about Fearfeld. We have the cash, so we'll upgrade it to a minor province straight away. Remembering that in this mod, there's no population requirements for upgrading your provinces. Fearfeld could be at 400 population, and we could still upgrade it all the way to a major province with all the buildings built. That's something that's been done to help both the AI and the player manage their settlements in a mod where the population growth is much lower than vanilla or most other Rome Total War mods. Recruitment. Edoras has built shields of the mark, so we will take them to Dol Baran, and we will put them in the appropriate order, like so. Olberg has built another unit of scouts, so Calenhad. Now I'm pretty comfortable with Calenhad's defences. That should hold against anything Adunabar puts together in the near future. And Waldberg has built scouts also. And we will do just one more unit of those, so we've got 4 of them. Like even numbers. Okay, Adunabaz responded somewhat to our attack, not particularly effectively. We're going to try for mid-DPing. We'll take this army in front of it, and with any luck we can destroy the reinforcements as well. Before I do that, I'll just take care of any other business. Dunland is thoroughly intimidated by us at this point. They don't have anywhere else they can attack because of this river. They have to go through this province, and I've put so many troops in it that they're not even trying at the moment. So we're comfortable there, we're comfortable everywhere else. We're building. We've got cash reserves, so Easthold we will build also. The economy of Rohan, as you can see once you get started, is very strong. It's very strong for this mod. Most other factions will struggle to build constantly in every settlement as well as do recruitment, and Rohan is a faction that's capable of that. So we're going to take full advantage of that. We have a diplomat to move. And actually what I want to do with this diplomat before I talk to the Reunited Kingdom... No, you know what? I shouldn't be stingy. I'll send him down here to talk to the Reunited Kingdom, and to visit Tharbad, who is the only faction I haven't yet met. I'll just train another diplomat. Hornburg will be suitable for that. I'm calling them diplomats, because of course that's the vanilla. I should call them emissaries, that's what we've decided to name them. Okay, let's see. Adunabaz's got a fairly good selection of units here. These are tier 2, tier 3 units. But the cultic units are strong, they're well armoured, they're Dunedain units. They tend to be very good in melee, although not terribly good at anti-cavalry, so we won't have any problems, but we'll see how the AI does. Alright, what are we going to do? These guys, we don't really want them to take part in the battle, so actually where they're sitting is fine. We'll just leave that like that. Now, in the center, we put our javelins on one flank, and again, you're watching someone who's very lazy at these sort of battles. I don't do them optimally, I take more casualties than I should. But generally speaking, we get the job done. We'll put our heavy / medium cavalry in the middle. Actually, we can sort this out further. We want quite thin lines of cavalry because we are going to be charging them down like a boss. And the wider the front of our units, the more damage they will do. And because our general's in one of these units, we'll keep the spears in reserve. They're also quite weak units. Okay, that'll do. So
the enemy has brought up more men.
Move my skirmishers, again, not being optimal. I'm running them in when I could walk them into firing range and then run them, but I do not care. We'll let him start taking casualties from that. Full Rohan cavalry army is one of the cooler sights in the world. Not full anybody cavalry army, really. Okay. He's returning fire. I'm going to pause for a minute and set up our charge.
Riders! Attack! Riders! Attack! Riders!
Facing us.
Riders! Attack! Riders! Attack! Riders!
What I'm actually going to do with my ranged units, send them all the way over here. Now, there's a good chance that the AA will actually retreat and run with these units, so I want to send guys to attack them straight away. There's a good chance they'll retreat if this part of the battle goes badly for them, which It definitely will. We've overrun the Dark Swords. As they didn't really have any spear units. I'm going to run them into the Dark Bergs there. And these guys into the Dark Bergs there.
The enemy general is running away. This is no way for a leader to
We're actually
behave.
taking casualties from mountain archers, so these guys to turn back. The horse archers will murder all of them before they get anywhere near the edge of the map, so that's fine. Yes. The reinforcements did just run off. Which is a little bit annoying. I probably could have prevented that if I had waited for them to march halfway onto the map before I attacked the main army. But I'm impatient. And it's not a big deal. There's no Dwarf forces in the area that are going to stop me taking the town next turn. And even if there are, I want to fight them and destroy them. So I'm not avoiding battle at the moment. I'm very much riding into their territory and offering battle, hoping they'll send some large stack against me so I can destroy it and weaken their army generally. But it didn't happen this turn. We won that pretty convincingly. So instead, I'll end my turn. Oh, we've got a little pop-up here. If this happens at the beginning of your turn, it's worth looking at it. Now, this is the message that lets you know when a faction has died. And also, when you click this button, it will reset the alliances of any dead factions. So there's actually a bug in Rome Total War that was never fixed, where alliances will persist even after a faction has died, which means that if you're the enemy of a dead faction and they're allied to someone else, you can't ally with that other faction because you're still at war with their ally. There's no way to end that war with their ally because their ally is already dead. So what this just does is all wars and alliances are cancelled for the dead faction, which normalizes diplomatic relations. It's something that you should always click on every time a faction dies. It will just keep the diplomacy system, such as it is in Rome Total War, working. So we'll click on that, and we'll get a little message which lets us know that Far Harad is dead. Far Harad are the people we talked to down here. They're almost certainly dead because Harad killed them, because that's what Harad does. And Harad's strong in this version of the campaign when you're playing as Rohan. And their next target is almost certainly going to be Rhovanion. So we should start seeing these lands here turn even more red relatively soon. And we may find ourselves helping the reunited kingdom fight against Harad, which is very historical, very thematic. Okay, lots of projects finished this turn, so we'll take a little bit of time to go through them. Hornburg has built merchants. What I'm actually going to do at this point is get the herbalist going. It does cost us a little bit in upkeep, but the public health will improve our population growth and our public order, which means our taxes can go higher for the same population growth. And in high population, high income settlements, they're worth it. So we'll build a herbalist there. In Oldburg, we will build a merchant square. Entwade will build tillage, till those fields. In Waldburg, we will now build. We want to get our population growth up before we upgrade the settlement. Because upgrading settlements actually lowers your base population growth a little bit. Not as much as the benefits you'll get from the buildings at that tier, but just a little bit to stop the population running away at higher tiers. What I'll actually build here is the Lord's Feasts. This will increase our population growth and our income and our XP that our units are being recruited with. You see at the moment they're recruited with only 1 silver chevron. Once we build this, they'll have 2. I mean, in the mod they have a base of 3 chevrons, which is 3 bronze. So Waldberg will build that. Dunfraker has built roads, which is excellent. And then following on from that, I'm actually going to build our cultural conversion building. Something I haven't really looked at much yet, but Dunfraker is currently following the Ways of Darkness. You see there's an inherent cultural alignment for every province. So if we open this one up and look at it, it's 75% for the Ways of Darkness, 50% for the Ways of the West. We build the Chieftain's Feasts, we'll equal those, and given that we're currently controlling the settlement, it should switch to us. We do want to do that. We may as well do it now. And Kalinad has finished building the fiefdom. So now we have dominion over this settlement, it's absorbed into our faction, and we're going to start developing. First thing I want here right now is something that will give us population. Actually, this is currently 0. A market. We'll go straight up with a market, and then we want control posts so that we can do militia there if necessary. Okay, that's all our construction. We've still got a bit of money left over, so Hornberg, I'm going to change that to crop rotation, which is a straight up more useful thing. It'll improve our population growth and our income. Recruitment. Waldberg's done some more scouts, so our border's looking very secure there now. Though these are mostly militia, but we've got a lot of them. Happy with Kalinad, happy with all our borders. Our emissary at Hornberg is done. He's going to pop up through Dunland to talk to Tharbad. Kind of want to ally with them. They'll be useful later on.
Your Honor.
We'll sit here in case we need to talk to the Reunited Kingdom. And we will take Mid-Deeping.
Yes, Captain.
Straight.
Prepare for battle. Besieged settlement, sir.
Now, he doesn't have much left. What I might do is go in with the ranged units, and we'll see if we can take him out without any casualties.
Units, await my orders.
I can show off a little bit of the visuals, the way we designed the settlements. So you can see this is a Northman / barbarian settlement design, but we've got some Dunedic buildings in here. They will appear because a Dunedic faction is currently owning this settlement. So they've got a little blacksmith and a few houses. If they'd built some barracks or markets or anything like that, those would also show up. So, oh, this is excellent. His faction leader has spawned himself. What would be inside the walls, but outside the path of the settlement. We can kill him before he gets back. With javelins to the face. And arrows to the back. He is, of course, heavy cavalry, and these guys are all light. So the chasing anticipated a little bit. Oh, and Run, please. He will not be able to catch us. He's doing a very good job chasing. Okay, now he's giving up.
The enemy general flees! Press...
Bye!
Mounted archers.
That was fun. Again, if I was more patient, I wouldn't run these guys everywhere, tire them out and make them less effective in combat, but I'm impatient, so I'm going to run them everywhere. And it's not like we're going to struggle to win this. You're a pathfinder. Messed up, go that way. Done.
Victory! Settlement captured!
Okay, there's not much population, so we'll just occupy it. Now, we've captured Mid-Deeping. However, I quickly destroy this, as we should. I do not particularly want to hold this settlement. There are many reasons for this. Firstly, it's almost completely undeveloped. It is a rural province, but aside from that, it's got literally no buildings. So we would have to, and I'm pretty sure it's an outland for us, so we'd have to spend a very long time pacifying and establishing dominion over it, and then we would have to invest lots of money in building up. At the same time, unlike, say, Fearfeld, this is very exposed. The, well, Adunabar took this settlement, but the Bjornings could come down here, Dale could come down here, Rhovanion could come from here, and Adunabar would work very hard coming up from here to take it back. So we'd have to be constantly defending it. There'd probably be a lot of sieges involved, which would slow production even more. At the same time, it's not going to give us, if we look here, a huge amount of trade income. Even once it's fully developed, it's not going to give a huge amount of trade income. It's not going to be very good for us for recruitment either, because it's not a fiefdom or a homeland, and that'll take a very long time to see any returns for us as well. And finally, it's quite far away from our recruitment centers. Although, because we're establishing Waldberg, that's not too bad a supply line, but it's still going to present us with a lot of difficulties. So, instead of trying to hold on to this ourselves, I'm going to try and gift it to someone else. So we'll set the tax rate to low to improve public order. That apparently makes it more desirable for other factions. We're also going to leave our troops inside, because troops inside a settlement don't count as an army in the province. If we had our army, say, sitting right next to the settlement, when we offered the settlement to the AA, they'd look at that army and go, "You've got an army right next to you, you're just going to take it back again. We don't trust you." But if we leave the army inside, they won't think that. So we'll leave the army inside, we'll set the taxes to low for improved public order, and then we will talk to Rhovanion.
Yes. I shall speak.
Oh, I haven't even bothered to get trade rates with these guys. That was an oversight. Okay, we'll offer them trade rates. We'll offer them map information. We'll offer them also the province. And even further than that, because the AI generally doesn't like to accept provinces without a little cash incentive, we'll give them some cash as well. This is going to pay for itself, most definitely. So let's offer them this. And that's unfortunate. Well, if Rhovanion is not going to have it, we might have to look elsewhere. I could, of course, offer it to the elves. Now, if I offer it to the elves, this will become a very secure border. The AI factions will be reluctant to attack them. They won't ever pose a threat to me because they're passive, and it will basically lock this border off. That's a little bit too easy, I feel. You can experiment around with it yourself. So I'm going to try and offer it to another faction, and I really want to give it to Rhovanion. They're a normal faction, and they're generally quite weak, so they won't pose much of a threat to me, and if I boost them up, it will cause more trouble for the other strong factions around them. But they've refused me this turn, so there's not much I can do about that except hold the settlement and wait for another turn. What I am going to do is move my capital around. Set that to Waldberg. That'll make mid-deeping very good to hold. I'm not going to bother with this because I'm not planning to hold on to the settlement. And we will try again next turn. We'll do it in a slightly different way and see if we can get a better result. Okay, that's the end of our turn. Right, we've got someone. He's poor at that and poor at that. He's an Izen Marcher. So he's part Dunlending. So we definitely don't want this guy to end up in our faction tree. But we do need more characters, and his starts as supportive of our faction leader. So we will accept him, just because there is a need. He's popped up in our capital, and we will move him to our proper capital, and he can govern Edoras for us for a while.
Forward! Move out!
We'll see if he can make a decent governor once he's had some practice. Okay, that is good. Oh, our family member in Oldberg is gone. Well, it's a good thing we started the Merchant Square when we did, because we got a bit of a discount on it. Edoras has finished irrigation. And here I think I will build the healer. Get that population up nice and high. We are going to want to keep doing a lot of recruitment out of Edoras, so building the population up now will not be a bad thing. Okay, diplomat. Stop off at the chief settlement up here and have a look at what Dunlending's doing. Don't seem to be doing very much.
Your honor, no more moves. Out of
Okay.
moves.
What else is to be done? We're going to try a slightly different approach this time. Firstly, we will offer them trade rights and map information. They will happily accept that. That'll make them a little bit more well disposed to us. And I'm going to go all out. I want to give them mid-deeping. I want an alliance. And I want to pay them 20,000 gold. Remember, I'm not just giving away this money for nothing. I also want to buff this faction so that they will hold out against Dale, and in the future Dale will pose less of a threat to me. Please accept this. Thank goodness. Okay, we've achieved our objective. We now have a buffer. We have an allied faction who is holding the province that defends our northern border. If at any point this province is threatened by Rhovanion's enemies, we can come and assist them, and then we're fighting essentially a proxy war. We're fighting on another faction's turf rather than our own.
Yes, Captain.
Now I'm going to continue trying to weaken Adunabar with this army. It doesn't need retraining just yet, and I'm going to do so by attacking Lathron. It's one of their homeland settlements. It actually has a wonder in it, the Argonath,
Sir!
and I am going to remove that from Adunabar's control. And just like mid-deeping, I'm going to give that one to Rhovanos as well. Sorry, not Rhovanos, Rhovanion as well. We're going to buff this faction as much as possible and see if we can't help them fight against Dale. So that's gone very well. even if we did have to pay quite a lot of money to make it happen. As I said before, we can afford it. We're in a very strong, secure position just about everywhere on the map so far, and everything's going very well.
Waiting your command.
One more turn. We'll play maybe a couple more turns and that'll be it. That will be it for this session. Looks like Rhovanion is having some success against Rune. That's always good to see. Don't know how long it will last. Okay, Tharbad.
Master, I shall
Trade
speak
rates
at
and map
once.
information, and we'll try and get a bit of cash out of them. They offer trade rates, they won't accept that. And then we'll see if they want an alliance as well. They may. They do not. That's fine.
Your honor.
Okay, I'll have this diplomat do a little exploring.
At once.
We'll scout out some settlements, just to reveal more of the map, give us an up-to-date picture. In the meantime, Easthold. We'll put some tillage. Dunfraker. Okay, so even though we've got our buildings equal, this is still sticking with Ways of Darkness as its default alignment. That may have something to do with the alignment as it's set at the start of the campaign, or just the fact that this particular building has a higher alignment for it. We need to exceed 75%. So we'll go straight on with Lord's Feasts. That will allow us to do that, and that will switch this province to Ways of the West at about the same time that our population starts to convert more quickly. Retrain the garrison. And we'll have a look at Erendol. Erendol has finished its pacification. Sorry, its dominion building. So this is now part of our faction proper as well. Erendol is never going to be particularly useful for us for income or recruiting because it is an outland. The main reason I wanted to take it is because it has a port, or it will have a port. Once we build that, we can build boats which will let us cross this river and attack Dunland from behind. Something that I plan to do later on. So we will start upgrading this till we're able to build a port there. I believe that happens at tier 2, but it's not. There it is. Tier 2. So we will upgrade it. It's not currently even tier 1. It's what we call tier 0. So we're going to have to upgrade it twice to get there, but that's not going to be too difficult. And we'll get started on that right away. Okay, buildings are all done. Diplomatic information is unsurprising. Our borders continue to look safe. This gentleman can start to manage Edoras. Our diplomats are all where they should be. And we are now going to besiege Lathron. And we'll build 2 rams to facilitate that.
Settlement, sir. Settlement under siege, sir.
Okay, end of our turn. I like to move through turns fairly quickly in my games. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy seeing my settlements develop, my faction become more advanced quite quickly. So I'll hurry through turns to make that happen. Even if I could be more proactive and more effective. If I took a bit more time. Okay, Dunfraker's looking quite good. The public order there is starting to become a little bit of an issue because our population is converting to alignment that is not yet the official alignment, but in 3 turns that'll all be fixed. In the meantime, we will move our capital back to Edoras, which should alleviate the issue for now. And we don't need it in Waldberg because mid-deeping we have given away. Okay. Interesting that Rune and Rhovanion are now allies. And Dale and Rune. Dale and Rune allied is a very bad combination. They will cause issues. So we want to keep assisting Rhovanion however we can. And we will do that, hopefully, by giving them Lathron this turn.
Yes, Captain.
Lathron, Lathron. MON would know how to pronounce that correctly. He's another one of the devs. Right, everything else is done. Diplomat. There we go. Spotted that settlement. Let's see what
Your honor.
Dunland's been up to down here. Okay. So, now this battle, I'm just going to cut. You don't need to see that. There's going to be nothing interesting going on there. It's going to be very easy. Alright, all done. As usual, we will occupy. We will set the income tax rate to normal. We have captured a wonder, which is all very good. For now, anyway. We may come back to these provinces later. I just prefer to let the AI develop them and invest in them than having to do it myself. Now we'll destroy the Homeland Dominion, we'll destroy their military recruitment. It was pointed out to me by one of the players of the mod, by Wombat, who's very good at the mechanics and carefully managing settlements and so on, that keeping this building will actually keep up the public order in a settlement where it's of the same official alignment. So if public order is going to be an issue, you might want to hold on to the cultural conversion building until after you've pacified, and then you can delete it. I'm going to delete it anyway, just because I don't care. Right, I'm not going to try and pacify this settlement. We will do what we just did. We're going to give this to Rhovanion. They should be pretty happy with us at the moment because we are allies. We've just done some successful deals. But we are going to still offer some things alongside it. In this case, I want to also get military access so I can move my armies through their territory without them getting upset about it. That's going to make it easier for me to come to their aid and help them defend these border provinces. So we're going to ask for military access. At the same time, we're going to give this settlement, and then we're going to give, and I think this time, $10,000. 10,000 million. Offer that. And once again, they're going to be a bit stupid about it. The AI is really a pain on those things sometimes. Okay, well, we'll just do what we did last time. We'll hold on to it for a turn, and we'll try again next turn with an even better deal. Alright, last turn for this episode. Ooh, now this guy looks pretty good. He's an expert, governor and commander. He is middle-aged rather than young, and he is lazy and uncharismatic, but he's also intelligent. So he seems like he might be a pretty good general. Settlement governor. And since he is so close, send him to Oldberg. Now, I did say I was going to get my faction leader out and fighting. As soon as I had another governor for that settlement. So instead, I might do that. I'll move him into there. We'll switch the governorship by passing over the relative ancillary, and then we'll get Bialdor King out onto the battlefield where he belongs. Okay. Edoras has finished a healer. And up next, you know what? It might be about time to do that military development. Oldberg's done a merchant square, so we'll crop rotation. Entwage has finished tillage, so we will now Build a herbalist. Get that population up. Waldburg's done Lord's Feast, so we'll retrain those units that need it. And then we will do some land clearance so that population can start growing. Vierfeld has become a minor province, which is very excellent. And right away we want to keep the population growth heading upwards. So I will begin a market. Actually, no. What I want to do in Vierfeld, because Vierfeld has the timber resource. First, I want to develop that because that will give me a discount on construction costs, which is very useful. So we'll get the wood industry up and running first there. Okay, that's all taken care of. We've spotted that settlement there. Okay, so Dunland has now sort of solidified its control over most of its homelands, but it's still not really strong enough to threaten my border just yet. If this guy does decide to attack, I'll take a few casualties and I'll have to retrain, but I don't think I'm in any danger of losing that settlement just yet. Public order here is still at 70%, and he will drop taxes if necessary to maintain that, so I'm not worried about that. Kalanad is still safe. In fact, it's very safe. Reunited Kingdom's doing a good job down here, and this border's not even threatened anymore. So I'm quite happy with that. And all that's left is to try and see if Rhovanion is going to be reasonable again. So, military access, give a province. Lathron. Make single payment. And 20,000 worked last time, so maybe it'll work this time. Okay, so it seems like the minimum they'll accept for these sort of deals is somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000. Again, I don't really mind paying this much money to them because my own economy is good, and I don't want Dale to just walk all over them. They'll use this money to develop their settlements to recruit troops. I'm fine with that. Now, I have military access with them, so I can walk around their territories. I'm quite fine with that. Now, what am I going to do with this army? It's still strong, don't really need to retrain it yet. I could go north and take out this settlement, but I'm actually fine with a bunch of Adunabar troops being stuck garrisoning an isolated, useless settlement far away from the rest of their territories. If we're lucky, the Bjornings will develop a big army, declare war on them, and take it, and then they'll be at war with Adunabar, which is good. So instead, I'm going to go for this one. If we can take this and then maybe gift it to the Reunited Kingdom, we'll have been, and maybe this one as well, we'll have dealt Adunabar in the south. Up north we can't reach them just yet, and they're very strong. They haven't taken out Anominus yet, which is good. But they probably will sooner or later. So we've got to do what we can for the Reunited Kingdom here in the south, and that means giving them a clear advantage over Adunabar. If we can take out a lot of these strategic settlements, we'll have done a good job of that. So, we'll destroy this unit. Again, not going to bother recording it, and we'll push on south.
Captain.
Alright. Can't move through the dead marshes there, so we'll have to go around them. What I might do is I will move through my allies' territory here, which may not alert Adunabar, and then I can siege in one turn after 2 turns. Alright, one more turn, since I can.
Captain.
Okay, we can see Harrod is attacking Herondor. They suffered a defeat, but their eventual victory is probably inevitable. Okay, Dunfraker is one turn away from converting the official alignment to go along with the population. I will, because of public order concerns, I will just wait for that to happen before I hand over the lordship. The new guy is not going to be a tuned governor, which means decreased public order. So we'll wait for that to happen. Dunland has besieged Dolbaran. I am neither surprised nor particularly worried.
Noble master, without delay. At once, moves depleted, sir.
Sure. Hornburg has done crop rotation. We will do a herbalist there now. Get the population up. Fairfield's done construction, so we'll build carpenters. Reduces construction costs. It reduces them by actually quite a lot, particularly once you get to the tier 2. So don't underestimate that building. And Kalinad has built a market. Now that we have population growth, straight into control posts, where we will get actually a levy unit. You can see it's a sort of Gondorian style unit because we're in Gondorian territory. The levy units are generally weaker than your own roster's units, although not always. In the case of this unit, it's actually better than our standard low-tier infantry unit. Simply because the Dunedain units tend to be, better armored and better trained. It's a more advanced faction. You can see the stats there: 1 attack, 2 charge, 15 defense, before experience, compared to 3 attack, 2 charge, 20 defense, before experience. So these guys are actually quite a bit better. Once we get that control post, we'll want to replace these two. And maybe add a few more units as well. And they can be our standard garrison infantry for any Dunedain territories that we take and hold. Okay, that's construction done. Recruitment, simply retraining on our borders here. These units are all now nicely up to standard. We'll keep them there just in case Rhovanion gets overconfident, shall we say, and we will move our army to there. More Dunabar homelands await. Alright. That is the end of the 4th episode. If you would like to leave any feedback, you can do so in the comments below or at our forums on twcenter.net. If you like the video or the mod, please share, like and subscribe, all of that sort of thing. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.